one of the things that in the industry that doesn't get talked about to the new player is the thing called overlay. So we have all these tournaments. Fantasy Aces has a $50,000 winner first week. I believe FantasyDraft.com has a $50,000 a week. Should people go out and be looking for overlay for some of these smaller sites and give them an opportunity?
Absolutely, because we talk about EV, expected value, all the time. And if you're in a contest that's a guaranteed prize pool and it's not going to fill, that increases your EV. If it pays out top 20% of the field, but it's only filled 80%, I mean, realistically, now that's really paying out top 25% of the field. That's a big difference, especially over the long run. So you always want to shop for overlay. The one thing I would say is to be careful if you're on a new site and you see a lot of overlay, don't go too crazy with it. Sometimes people, they see overlay, then they enter everything. It's still anything can happen in 1 week, even though it's a good long-term decision to go after overlay. You don't want to play, if you normally play 10% of your bankroll, you don't want to all of a sudden play 20 just to chase your overlay. So maybe factor that in when you're first signing up for games. If you're going to pay 10% of your bankroll, maybe you only sign up for 8% and then save it for overlay. And also, make sure you're still very aware and knowledgeable of the site scoring system and pricing. If you're just jumping in because there's overlay but you don't really know the salary structure of that specific site, it might not be the plus EV move that you think it is.
Mike Leone from DailyRoto.com. Of course, Tony Cincotta, Fantasy Sports Network. We're live from Monmouth Park in New Jersey. Here's the thing. I think a big mistake for new people in the industry is seeing these $1 million ads, $2 million ads, and it's great, and it's awesome to have an opportunity to be a millionaire, and we encourage everybody to play in it. But like you said, don't go crazy in it, and also look at the site and find other games, head-to-head games, 50-50 games. You guys have been very successful, and you guys put a lot of entries in these tournaments that have $1 million prizes, but people don't realize that you play more in head-to-head in 50 games.
Absolutely. I was telling this to Scott earlier. We take kind of a survive and advance approach. If you can give yourself a shot at a tournament, it's not your focus, it's not your main thing, give yourself a shot and then cover yourselves in 50-50s. Churn out a gradually small profit with your 50-50s, your cash games. That is what's going to pay for your tournament entries. That's going to give you a chance. You want your hat in the ring, but it's not the focal point of what you're doing. If you're dumping all your entries into the Millionaire Maker week 1, like that's a good way to go broke fast. You have to realize it's a top-heavy thing. You're entering that because you want a chance at $1 million. You're not entering that because you're consistently winning money in that. So you want to target games like 50-50s, head-to-heads, where you can consistently win money.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's going to be the big thing that people are looking at on day one Daily Fantasy. Now, I had a conversation with Mike Cardano. He had never played a qualifier before, so he won tickets at DraftKings, and he says, is this the way to go about it? What about from your perspective? So you're playing in a tournament for all the people out there, and you don't win money, but you win an entry into a bigger tournament here. So in Daily Fantasy, we like to keep the cash flowing and the income coming in, and then we get in more contests. How do you feel about qualifiers? Do you play in a lot of them?
Just like the Millionaire Maker or any tournament where I said you have to be cognizant of the payout structure, it's the same thing with a qualifier. Some qualifiers, you can still make decent money even if you don't win them. There's others where you're pretty much playing for first and that's it. And those are tougher to enter consistently because it's almost even more top-heavy than a Millionaire Maker series. So for me, if the payout structure is right, I'll enter. I'll always dabble when there's a few lower dollar ones, but again, you don't want to chase. Chasing's the worst thing you can do. Play some satellite leagues where the winner gets an entry into the qualifier. For me, that's a more cost-effective way of giving yourself a chance to attend one of these live events.
That's great information from Mike Leone, DailyRoto.com. Head over to DailyRoto.com and make sure you get the information from the nation's best. Drew Dinkmeyer won $1 million. They have 4 subscribers that have won $1 million. Why go anywhere else? I don't know. Maybe, would there be a reason to go anywhere other than DailyRoto?
No, absolutely not.
It's exactly like picking kickers. That's what the same guys that pick kickers go elsewhere. We don't like kickers at Daily Roto. You shouldn't need to stay tuned more for the Fantasy Sports Network.